I should tell you that when I was asked to be here, I thought to myself, well, it's TED, and these TEDsters are, as innocent as that name sounds, these are the philanthropists and artists and scientists who sort of shape our world. And what could I possibly have to say that could be distinguished enough to justify my participation in something like that? And so I thought perhaps a really civilized-sounding British accent might help things a bit. And then I thought, no, I should just get up there and be myself and just talk the way I really talk, because after all, this is the great unveiling, and so I thought I'd come up here and unveil my real voice to you, although many of you already know that I do speak the Queen's English because I am from Queens, New York. But the theme of this session, of course, is invention, and while I don't have any patents that I'm aware of, you will be meeting a few of my inventions today. And so I suppose it's fair to say that I am interested in the invention of self, or selves. We're all born into certain circumstances with particular physical traits, unique developmental experiences, geographical and historical contexts, but then what? To what extent do we self-construct? Do we self-invent? How do we self-identify, and how mutable is that identity? Like, what if one could be anyone at any time? Well, my characters, like the ones in my shows, allow me to play with the spaces between those questions, and so I've brought a couple of them with me, and, well, they're very excited. What I should tell you is that they've each prepared their own little TED Talks, so feel free to think of this as Sarah University.
Okay. Well, oh, wonderful. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so very much for having me here today. Thank you very much. My name is Lorraine Levine. And, oh my, there's so many of you. Hi, sweetheart. Okay. Anyway, I am here because of the young girl, Sarah Jones. She's a very nice young black girl. Well, she calls herself black. She's really more like a caramel color if you look at her. But anyway, she has me here because she puts me in her show, what she calls her one-woman show. And you know what that means, of course. That means she takes the credit and then makes us come out here and do all the work. But I don't mind. Frankly, I'm kvelling just to be here with all the luminaries you have attending something like this, Really, it's amazing. Not only, of course, the scientists and all the wonderful giants of the industries, but the celebrities. There are so many celebrities running around here. I saw Glenn Close, I saw earlier. I love her. And she was getting a yogurt in the Google Cafe. Isn't that adorable? And so many others you see, they're just wonderful. It's lovely to know they're concerned, And, I saw Goldie Hawn. Oh, Goldie Hawn, I love her too. She's wonderful, yeah. And, she's only half Jewish. Do you know that about her? Yeah. But even so, a wonderful talent. And when I saw her, such a wonderful feeling. Yeah, she's lovely. But anyway, I should have started by saying just how lucky I feel. It's such an eye-opening experience to be here. You're all so responsible for this world that we live in today. I couldn't have dreamed of such a thing as a young girl. And, you've all made these advancements happen, and in such a short time. You're all so young. Your parents must be very proud. But I also appreciate the diversity that you have here. I notice it's very multicultural. When you're standing up here, you can see all the different people. It's like a rainbow. It's okay to say rainbow. Yeah, I can't keep up with whether you can say, the different things. What are you allowed to say or not say? I don't want to offend anybody, But anyway, I just think that to be here with all of you accomplished young people, literally, some of you, the architects building our brighter future, it's heartening to me. Even though, quite frankly, some of your presentations are horrifying, absolutely horrifying. It's true. It's true. You know, between the environmental degradation and the crashing of the world markets you're talking about, and of course we know it's all because of well, I don't know how else to say it to you, so I'll just say it my way. The Gnavische Stickler coming from the governments and the bankers and the Wall Street, you know it. Anyway, the point is, I'm happy somebody has practical ideas to get us out of this mess, so I salute each of you in your stellar achievements. Thank you for all that you do, and congratulations on, being such big machers that you've become Ted-meisters. So happy continued success. Congratulations. Mazel tov. Mwah.
Hi. Thank you, everybody. Sorry, this is such a wonderful opportunity and everything to be here right now. My name is Nareda, and I'm so thrilled to be part of your TED conference that you're doing and everything like that. And I am Dominican American. Actually, you could say I grew up in the capital of the Dominican Republic, otherwise known as Washington Heights in New York City. But I don't know if there's any other Dominican people here, but I know that Juan Enriquez, he was here yesterday, and I think he's Mexican, so that's close enough for me right now. So, I'm sorry. I'm just trying not to be nervous because this is a very wonderful experience for me and everything. And I'm not used to doing the public speaking. And whenever I get nervous, I start to talk really fast. Nobody can understand nothing I'm saying, which is very frustrating for me, as you can imagine. I usually have to just try to calm down and take a deep breath. But then on top of that, Sarah Jones told me we only have 18 minutes. So then I'm like, should I be nervous? Because maybe it's better. And then I'm just trying not to panic and freak out. So I take a deep breath. Okay, sorry. So anyway, what I was trying to say is that I really love TED. I love everything about this. It's amazing. I can't get over this right now. And people would not believe, seriously, where I'm from, that this even exists. I love the name, the TED. I know it's a real person and everything, but I'm just saying that I think it's very cool how it's also an acronym, which is it's very high concept and everything like that. I like that. And actually, I can relate to the whole acronym thing and everything because actually I'm a sophomore in college right now. And at my school, actually I was part of co-founding an organization, which is a leadership thing, you guys, you would really like it and everything. The organization is called The Bomb, and the bomb, not what you guys can build and everything. It's the bomb, it means Dominican, it's an acronym, Dominican American Benevolent Organization for Mothers and Babies. So, and I know, see, the name is a little bit long, but with the war on terror and everything, the Dean of Student Activities has asked us to stop saying the bomb, use the whole thing so nobody would get the wrong idea, whatever. So, basically, what Dominican American Benevolent Organization for Mothers and Babies does is basically we try to advocate for students who show a lot of academic promise and who also happen to be mothers like me. I am a working mother and I also go to school full time. And it's so important to have role models out there. I know sometimes our lifestyles are very different, whatever. But even at my job, I just got promoted. Right now, it's very exciting actually for me because I'm the junior assistant to the associate director under the senior vice president for business development. That's my new title. But I think whether you own your own company or you're just starting out like me, something like this is so vital for people to just continue expanding their minds and learning. And if everybody, all people really had access to that, it would be a very different world out there, as I know you know. So I think all people, we need that. But especially I look at people like me, Latinos, we're about to be the majority in 2 weeks. So we deserve just as much to be part of the exchange of ideas as everybody else. So I am very happy that you are, doing this kind of thing, making the talks available online. That's very good. I love that. And I love you guys. I love TED. And if you don't mind, privately now, in the future, I'm going to think of TED as an acronym for Technology, Entertainment, and Dominicans. Thank you very much. So that was Nareda, and just like Lorraine and everybody else you're meeting today, these are folks who are based on real people from my real life. Friends, neighbors, family members. I come from a multicultural family. In fact,
The older lady you just met, very, very loosely based on a great aunt on my mother's side. It's a long story, believe me.
But on top of my family background, my parents also sent me to the United Nations School, where I encountered a plethora of new characters, including, par exemple, my French teacher, okay? Well, you know, it was beginner French that I am taking with her, you know, and it was Madame Besson, you know, she was very, c'était comment dit-on? It was like, you know, she was there in the class, you know, she was kind of typically French, you know, she was very chic, but also she was very filled with ennui, you know, and she would be there, you know, kind of talking with the class, you know, talking about the, you know, the existential futility of life, you know, and we were only 11 years old, so it was not appropriate. But, und ich habe auch Deutsch gelernt, 3 Jahre. Yes, I took German for 3 years, naturally, jawohl. And it was quite the experience because I was the only black girl in the class, even in the UN school. Although, you know, it was wonderful. The teacher, Herr Stab, he never discriminated, never. He always treated each of us, you know, equally unbearably during the class. So there were the teachers, and then there were my friends, classmates from everywhere, many of whom are still dear friends to this day, and they've inspired many characters as well. For example, a friend of mine. Well, I just wanted to quickly say good evening. My name is Praveen Mandvi, and thank you very much for this opportunity. Of course, TED, the reputation precedes itself all over the world. You know, I am originally from India, and I wanted to start by telling you that when Sarah Jones told me that we will be having the opportunity to come here to TED in California, originally I was very pleased and frankly relieved because, you know, I am a human rights advocate. And usually my work, it takes me to Washington, D.C., and there I must attend these meetings, mingling with some tiresome politicians, trying to make me feel comfortable by telling how often they are eating the curry in Georgetown. So you can just imagine, right? So, but I'm thrilled to be joining all of you here. I wish we had more time together, but that's for another time, okay?
Great.
And sadly, I don't think we'll have time for you to meet everybody I brought, but I'm trying to behave myself. It's my first time here. But I do want to introduce you to a couple of folks you may recognize if you saw Bridge and Tunnel. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Pauline Ning, and first, I want to tell you that I'm a member of the Chinese community in New York. But when Sarah Jones asked me to please come to TED, I said, well, you know, first, I don't know that, you know, before 2 years ago, you will not find me in front of an audience of people, much less like this, because I did not like to give speeches because I feel that as an immigrant, I do not have good English skills for speaking. But then I decided, just like Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, I try anyway. My daughter wrote that. She told me, always start your speech with humor. But my background, I want to tell you a story only briefly. My husband and I, we brought our son and daughter here in the 1980s to have the freedom we could not have in China at that time. And we try to teach our kids to be proud of their tradition, but it's very hard. You know, as an immigrant, I will speak Chinese to them, and they will always answer me back in English. They love rock music and pop culture, American culture. But when they got older, when the time comes for them to start thinking about getting married, that's when we expect them to realize a little bit more their own culture. But that's where we had some problems. My son, he says he is not ready to get married, and he has a sweetheart, but she is an American woman, not Chinese. It's not that it's bad, but I tell him, what's wrong with a Chinese woman? but I think he will change his mind soon. So then I decide instead I will concentrate on my daughter. The daughter's marriage is very special to the mom. But first, she said she's not interested. She only wants to spend time with her friends. And then at college, it's like she never came home. And she doesn't want me to come and visit. So I said, what's wrong in this picture? So I accused my daughter to have like a secret boyfriend. But she told me, Mom, you don't have to worry about boys because I don't like them. And I said, yes, men can be difficult, but all women have to get used to that. She said, no, Mom, I don't like boys. I like girls. I am lesbian. So I always teach my kids to respect American ideas, but I told my daughter this is one exception. That she is not gay, she is just confused by this American problem. But she told me, Mom, it's not American. She said she is in love with a nice Chinese girl. So these are the words I am waiting to hear, but from my son, not my daughter. But at first, I did not know what to do. But then over time, I have come to understand that this is who she is. So even though sometimes it's still hard, I will share with you that it helps me to realize society is more tolerant. Usually because of places like this, because of ideas like this, and people like you with an open mind. So I think maybe, Ted, you impact people's lives in ways maybe even you don't realize. So for my daughter's sake, I thank you for your ideas worth spreading. Thank you. 谢谢.
Good evening. My name is Habiba Rahal, and I would like to, first of all, thank Sarah Jones for putting all of the pressure on the only Arab who she brought with her to be last today. I am originally from Jordan, and I teach comparative literature at Queen's College. It is not Harvard, but I feel a bit like a fish out of water, but I am very proud of my students, and I see that a few of them did make it here to the conference, so you will get the extra credit, I promised you. But while I know that I may not look like the typical Tedizen, as you would say, I do like to make the point that we in global society, we are never as different as the appearances may suggest. So if you will indulge me, I will share quickly with you a bit of verse which I memorized as a young girl, 16 years of age, so back in the ancient times. أرجوك تقولي إنك بتخليني أمسك إيدك، خليني أحط إيدي في إيدك، عايزة أمسك إيدك، كل ما ألمس إيدك بفرح قلبي، شو أنا فرحانة، مش قادرة أخبي حبي، مش قادرة أخبيه، مش قادرة أخبي حبي. And this, it roughly translates, please let me hold your hand. I want to hold your hand. I want to hold your hand. And when I touch you, I feel happy inside. It's such a feeling that my love, I can't hide. I can't hide. I can't hide. Well, so, okay, but please, if it is sounding familiar, it is because I was at the same time in my life listening to the Beatles on the Radio Ramallah. They were very popular. So all of that is to say that I like to believe that for every word intended to render us deaf to one another, there is always a lyric connecting ears and hearts across the continents in rhyme. And I pray that this is the way that we will self-invent in time. That's all. Shukran. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Okay, great.
Thank you all very much. It was lovely. Thank you for having me. Thank you very, very much. I love you. Thank you. Well, you have to let me say this. Thank you. I want to thank Chris and Jacqueline and just everyone for having me here. It's been a long time coming, and I feel like I'm home, and I know I've performed for some of your companies, or some of you have seen me elsewhere, but this is honestly one of the best audiences I've ever experienced. The whole thing is amazing, and so don't you all go reinventing yourselves anytime soon.